At the end of the first year, your goal should be able to target 6% per month. Strip it down to a single candle. The open price, the high price, the low price, and the closing price. And time of day, day of week, what month of the year. All this shit matters. 6% is 1.5% per week. Your first year should be trying to control everyday trading to test your discipline. And if you don't have discipline, you're forging it by doing this. What's your multiplier? If you don't have a multiplier, you can't hit your percentage return. So what is your multiplier? What repeats every single day? Now listen, if you've been eating Doritos and chips and you're watching some sports bullshit, okay, stop, because this is the part where it really starts to get good. What repeats every single day in the marketplace? A rush for the market to go one direction or the other. Here's the wonderful thing. You can be dead fucking wrong at the beginning of the day on bias. Here's the secret. Listen, you can be dead fucking wrong on your bias every single day at 9:30. Who gives a shit? Flip a quarter. If it heads, okay, I'm going to be looking to go long. If it's tails, you're looking to go short. And then you wait. Wait that first 30 minutes and see what they do. If you had a liquidity pool that they were aiming for, or likely to be aiming for, in other words, if you think that the market was likely to go up to take out an old high, run some buy stops, right? And the market just immediately tanks. First 30 minutes, this is going down, 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 down. Okay. Well, now you have a easy decision to make. Is there a fair value gap that decline has created and left in its porous wake? In other words, as it's dropped down, did it leave a fair value gap up there that it can go back up into? You have to see what happens every single day. The market's aiming for liquidity. Period. That's happening every fucking day. Every day. You cannot do anything until 10 o'clock. And then we're going to be looking for a pool of liquidity above or below the marketplace. And you have to engage that for 5 handles. And doing it is like working out. You don't get abs the first time you did sit-ups. You're not getting a 6-pack abs just because you watch some guy on YouTube do them. You got to get out there and do that shit yourself. So this is how you do it. Now, let's return back to that multiplier. You're here to make fucking money. And you can't make fucking money if you are not consistently doing the same things. How can that be done? Well, number one, let's strip it down to the basic math, and then I'll tell you how to apply your multiplier to it. But you can split this up into small, little, tiny, bite-sized pieces. It's all about how you understand what repeats. And you're never aiming for something that's too hard or anxiety-inducing. 6% per month doubles your account size, no matter how you slice it. No matter what you start with, at the end of the entire year, if you compound 6% every single month, it's 100% return. Okay? It's this math and sticking to the same multiplier. What's the multiplier? You do not turn your charts on until 10 o'clock in the morning, New York local time. Find the most recent 5 or 15-minute high or low. What's the market done since the opening? And then aim for that. Well, what am I looking for? A fair value gap on a 1-minute chart. And you're going to watch these candles paint, and they're going to communicate with one another. They're going to react to one another. After several months of doing it, you're going to know exactly what it's doing. It's this simple understanding of time and price. And that is going to be multiplied with the heavy lifting of money management. Because if you're aiming for 3% or 10% or 6%, that's a static return that you're aiming for every single month. Your risk need not be high to meet these thresholds in terms of returns. Not even 1%. How about 0.75%? You want this shit to be steady Eddie, easy money, something that's easy to do over and over and over again. You're not trying to flip your fucking account. You're trying to take money out of it. That's it. That's all this boils down to, making money. But it needs to be easy. Because if it's easy, you'll be able to do what? You'll be able to weather doing it wrong once in a while. Oh, okay, shit. I did that wrong. Okay, it's no big deal. As you get higher up in your money, you start using big sizes and large account balances and such, you don't want to increase the rate of return on a short-term duration, like a month. You don't want that. As you make more money, you want to gradually reduce the level of what you're aiming for, which makes your job easy. And if you know that these certain things repeat every single day, a stop hunt will occur every fucking day. That's one of the exercises I'm going to put you through this year, starting in February. I'm going to tell you to go through your charts and annotate every single time on a 1 and 5 minute chart how many times a stop run occurred and where it was and what time it occurred. That's a back testing study. But how do I use that for entry? By doing that, that gives you targeting and entry perception that you can't see until you do that back study. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be fucking hard because you're wrestling yourself. But once you finally get past yourself and get out of your own fucking way, then you'll really start to learn. And you'll see that you've made it much more harder than it needs to be because it's all basically psychological. You're afraid of losing money. You're afraid of being wrong. You're afraid of failing because you don't want to endure. Fuck that. Listen, failure is a fucking choice. That's not a guarantee. Failure is a fucking choice. Setbacks, speed bumps, adversities, that's all part of this, like anything else. Anything worth doing is going to be fucking hard. It's going to cost money. It's going to cost time. It's going to cause you to have to put more effort into this than anything you've ever done. Weak people don't survive in this industry. Unorganized, undisciplined, irresponsible motherfuckers do not stay in this business. I want to know why I'm doing something. I know why it's supposed to be happening. And when it's wrong, I accept the fact that I did it wrong. I'm not going to argue about it. I'm not going to be fucking mad about the system falling apart. I'm going to trust that it will work again in the future when I'm right doing it. Own it. Take full responsibility for it. You've had money management behind the trade properly. It did not crush your account. It did not make you nuts because you had a losing transaction. It just means, guess what? You got a flat tire. It sucks. Suck it up. Get on the road again. It's simple as that. You're not in a rush to get it back. You're doing realistic expectations, aiming for something that's logical, doing the same thing. And the money management does the heavy lifting. You do it the same way every single time. You manage it the same way every single time. Done. The same measure of percent in terms of risk you're putting on the trade each time is the same. And as you draw down, when you have losing trades, then you start scaling it back. Cut your position in half. Like they're all rules that you have to have. And that's all part of what makes your multiplier, your setup, your pattern, your unique model. There's things you have to bring to it, not just simply, oh, I'm looking for fair value gap after a shift in market structure and looking for, a discount or a premium array to attack. Okay, well, what are you going to risk on your trade? And what happens if you take a loss on that trade? How are you going to engage? When will you stop? These are all rules that have to be outlined, written. You have to be rigid with these rules. And that's all that fucking matters. That's it. That's all this is. That's all trading is. If I'm really aggressive, I'm no on side, I'm going to go in with 6 contracts, and then my next partial will be 5. And then my next partial going in will be 4, 3, 2, 1. That's pillaring. Okay. A pyramid is where I start with the largest portion first, and then I work my way down, splitting it in half each time. If I can't put a trade on with that type of gearing, then I'm probably not in a high probability setup. So I'll just do something with like 4 or 3 contracts and no pyramiding. I'll just do partials as it lets me.